How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we are not talking Pixel 10. Let's face it, I wanted to give you guys a break from talking about the Pixel 10, even though I'm like bananas excited over the phone and wanting to share as much video content about the Pixel 10 as I can, but I digress. But in this video today, I wanted to focus on something that's going around regarding news that's been talked about in the last week or so, and that is the whole deal between Boost Mobile and AT&T. And I wanted to correct one thing that some people are getting wrong in this whole reporting. The question is Boost Mobile owned by AT&T? And the answer to that question is no. Boost was not acquired by AT&T, so Boost is not a brand that is owned by AT&T at all. They're not part of the AT&T family. They're not brothers to Cricket. That's not what happened. And so for you guys to understand exactly what happened and why this is causing confusion is because Boost did sell. As a matter of fact, it's EchoStar that sold. They sold 5G spectrum that they owned, that they had, that they technically didn't deploy yet. And that was sold to AT&T. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the 3.45 gigahertz N77 spectrum. And I think some of the 600 megahertz spectrum as well. So this is spectrum, if you guys don't know what that is, just basically the 5G frequencies that they have. There's different frequency channels and some do certain things. Some, make for like faster download speeds, but the length of travel is a bit shorter. Some maintain the stability of the connection, and they can go a lot farther in range. There's different ones, right? Do your due diligence and just Google it. But EchoStar owned quite a bit, right? And these frequencies are purchased at auctions. I believe the FCC has auctions for certain spectrum. And these companies, they bid for it, they buy it, they own it, they deploy it, they can license other, carriers to use it. And right now it's licensed because I don't believe the deal is completely shut and ironclad, finished. But when the deal is completely done, AT&T will own. They will own that spectrum. How does this impact Boost Mobile customers? Just to clear things up, no impact to you guys at all whatsoever. You're not gonna have to get a new SIM card. You're not gonna have to do any type of migrations, none of that stuff. Basically what it is if you kind of look at Boost, let's say I'm a Boost Mobile customer. Say I'm a Boost Mobile customer, and with my Boost Mobile line, it's a 70-30 split, right? 70 mostly on the Dish 5G, 30 on the AT&T side. As far as what spectrum is owned by what. Okay, let me clarify that. That's how it is, right? So 70% of the spectrum that my phone is using on the Boost network is going to be owned by Boost, 30% owned by AT&T and T-Mobile. Well, now the roles have flipped. Now 70% of it is going to be AT&T owned spectrum, and 30% Dish 5G and T-Mobile. That's all the change that's happening to Boost Mobile customers. But other than that, nothing's really changed. Boost is not owned by AT&T. AT&T did not buy Boost and all their customers and all that stuff. They just bought spectrum. They just bought 5G radio frequencies that Dish owned, that Dish hadn't used, and that the FCC, I believe, was pressuring Boost to either use that or sell it, give it away, or whatever. The FCC is really on Boost Mobile's case. I know I've made some videos talking about some of the things that Boost Mobile gets wrong, and those are opinionated videos. They're my opinion. But you know what? I do genuinely feel bad for Boost Mobile. I feel like that the FCC's got their foot on their neck, and they're not really given much breathing room. And while a lot of people did feel like Charlie Ergen was going to be able to get the company out of the debt that they're in, looks like this time around that he's not able to. And it's such a sad case to see, because I really, really had good hopes for Boost becoming the fourth carrier and allowing a fourth carrier play, where we can see prices not so expensive. But now that we're only operating as a three carrier, country, we have three major carriers. That kind of hurts, because that allows the three carriers to start jacking up prices. There are people out there who don't really care to be on prepaid. And I totally get it, right? You feel premium on postpaid, and you know what? Hey, do you, right? That's you. But now it just hurts you guys the most, because what you guys used to pay for a single line, like $90 with unlimited everything plus additional perks from different, subscriptions and stuff like that. Now you're gonna end up paying like $120, maybe even $130. It's at the carrier's discretion, and they know they can because there's only 3 options. So if you are like, hey, I don't like your prices, I'm gonna go elsewhere. Well, the other 2 are pretty much matching what that one is giving out in price and services. So yeah, it's just a revolving door of like the same plan, maybe just a few tweaks of the plan. And those on prepaid are eventually going to get, they're going to feel the pinch of it. Look at Metro $25, bring your own device, right? And what's the new terminology that they give everybody with terms? Guaranteed price lock for 5 years. Like, why would you need a price lock unless you know that you're going to intend to change that price plan based upon how your business is doing quarterly? So yeah, it looks bad for everybody. That's probably like the only downfall. Pretty sad for Boost Mobile, but Boost Mobile is still Boost Mobile. They're not part of AT&T, and I think people kind of need to register that. It was Spectrum that was sold, not the brand name, not the customers, not the company.